Hello, everyone. It's Dr. B again. And if I seem a little tired today, I think I am. I was already yesterday, but I'm even more tired today. But that being said, we're moving right on, moving along. We're going on to chapter 10 today, and we're very near the end of the book. If you've read them, you know that there are 11 chapters altogether. So, just to be more formal, I'm Dr. Madeline Boskowitz, a psychologist. I'm the author of I Want to Be Me, but I Don't Know Who I Am. It's a guidebook for teens and young adults. And I've also authored the I Want to Be Me workbook, which is addressed to preteens, teens, and young adults. Why preteens here? Because there's a lot of work that needs to be done in late childhood, in the preteen years, to be ready for the work of adolescence. Now, of course, you have a lot of time to do this work, and I've repeated that many times in this book. And I think in chapter 10, you're going to hear a lot of things you've heard before. And I think you already did in chapter 9 as well, but it's really important. These are things that I'm trying to impart to you, and in a way they can't be said enough. And it's encouragement, I hope. Anyway, the chapter is called Kick Obstacles Out of Your Way, Maintain Your Momentum. And your momentum means keep going, stay on your path, keep going, whatever it takes. And there will be obstacles. Why kick them out of the way? Because they're always there, and you need to be wary and ready, and also maybe sometimes go around the obstacle. You don't have to kick it, because we need to adjust quite a bit of the time, and that's the way it is. So in the last chapter, I talked about being careful not to let anyone get in the way of your goals, your path to your dream. Even if you don't have a dream, if you just have goals every day, things you want to get done, things that are important to you, it's important not to let things get in the way of it. And so where I talk about that, there are, some people have grandiose dreams, and that's wonderful. And they do take a lot of energy. When you watch about spring training for baseball or, various sports, there is a lot of work that goes into doing something that's really noticeable, remarkable. But, the size of the dream is totally unimportant. Some people have tiny dreams, and that's fine. It is whatever suits you. What is important is excuse me. The main thing about your dream is that it should fit you, not someone else. Sometimes young people follow dreams that others, usually their parents or relatives, want for them. And maybe this works well if they can really buy into it and see that it's a good fit for them, but sometimes it doesn't, and they end up resenting being told to follow a dream that doesn't meet their needs. I think it's a little bit less common in your generation, not to be free to entertain any dream you want. In my youth, particularly professional parents really wanted their kids to follow in their track, or if they owned a business, they were expecting their son or daughter would be in the business after, would be, and it was assumed, and a lot of times, it wasn't the case. The son or daughter had other ideas and other ambitions, and it created sometimes a lot of friction. But again, here, I emphasize that it's so important that the dream fits you, so that you can really buy into it and do whatever work it takes. And I have an example in the book of little Maria, who wanted to do something very special, to become a doctor. And she was 16, but she also was responsible for her brothers after class, and she had to help with so many things that she couldn't really do her homework, which was really terrible, because that's part of what needs to be accomplished to succeed, to get into college and later medical school. So she came to see me with her mother, and I encourage her to problem solve because the answers always lie within the person. What is it that they can do? But sometimes you need to little guidance on how to figure out that path. So I asked her, to work out. Um, First, her mother did not know of her dream, and when she did find out, that was very exciting for her, and she really wanted Maria to strive for that dream, even if she didn't quite trust that it would be possible, but she wanted to encourage Maria. And so Maria talked to her mother about her dreams, and her mother was surprised and excited. She wanted her daughter to succeed, even though she didn't feel all that hopeful that Maria could really accomplish all that. But she didn't say no. She didn't put any obstacles in her way. So she asked a neighbor. So what they worked out is that they were going to ask a neighbor to come over in the afternoon for a couple of hours so that Maria could do her homework. And in exchange, Maria would do housekeeping at the neighbor's house over the weekend or do other chores that were needed, such as mowing the lawn or things like that. And this would be challenging because Maria, that would make it a very, very full day. But she wanted to attempt her dream, to meet her dreams and her expectations. And when she realized that there was a path that she could find for right now, and that this was okay, she felt very empowered. She felt in control of her life rather than feeling that there was a threat that she would have to give up her dreams, which is awful. So I go on to say, remember that the answers to solving the problems of obstacles always lie within you, and you have to find them. Remember, no one has the right to hijack your life and your dream. They're yours, and you're entitled to them. That reminds me of what was in the last chapter about relationships, where there is an imbalance, where one of the persons is not able to follow their dreams in order to sponsor the partner's dreams, which is problematic. But here I talk about the thread that sometimes it's tempting to go along with others just because you feel it might be easier at the time, or you really need their approval, or you may feel that their love is dependent on your doing their bidding. And maybe it is. But are those the persons you want to be with? This is a great challenge that we all encounter sometimes. And it is tempting to just go along. But, in the end, when we just go along, it's almost always a mistake. And we to forsake our needs and our dreams, and we end up unhappy, resentful, and depressed. I so many clients who were depressed, and depression is when things are not right. I mean, you're going to say, duh, obviously they're not right. But I want to look a little deeper. Depression is when you're not meeting your needs, you're not in sync, you're not hearing your little voice, or maybe you're hearing it, but you're declining to listen to it, which is self-destructive, which is causing depression and discomfort in life. So a lot of the work when someone comes in with depression is to start digging, to get that voice back activated again, and to see what it is they really want and how far it is. And then I encourage them to recognize it's going to take time to get back on a good path where you're going to take care of yourself, but it's obviously worth the time. So I'm moving on from the actual guidebook to the workbook. And you're going to find that it again reviews a lot of things that are familiar. And one of the things it talks about is the fears, and what we just covered again, the last chapter, about, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, in chapter 9, what are the fears? What is going on? And then I wanted, in this chapter here, in chapter 10, I wanted to talk about how do you talk about yourself? How do you defeat the fear that keeps you from moving forward? What negative voices do you hear and how do you address them? So is your negative talk, I'm not smart enough, I can't do it, it's just too hard, I can't afford it, I can't afford to go to college, I won't even try, I won't succeed, even if I try. What's the use? Everything falls apart anyway. And you know how many times we've said that in moments of discouragement. And it's okay to say that, but we need to get past it. We need to turn it to the positive and to reinforce ourselves. So what will you do to get those negative voices out of your head and move forward? Maybe you can tell yourself, well, everyone can have a dream. Anyone can have a dream. I can have a dream. I can do it if I set my mind to it. I'm as good as anyone else. I'm entitled to the best life I can have, and everyone is entitled to the best life they can have. And then recognize only I can do this for myself. I won't give up. I have what it takes. And again, it's never too late, even if you've kind of forgotten about it. I'll come back to it. So I'm encouraging you to gather your courage. And of course, this is all very familiar, but it's things that we need to do, if not every day, very, very often. Every time we encounter an obstacle, it's hard. None of this is easy. If it was easy, I wouldn't even write the book. You know, none of us are born knowing how to get through these years and how to make the best of it. That's what the books are for, not just mine, but there are others as well. So gather your courage. It's normal to be afraid. We're all afraid. After all, there's a lot at stake when you want to acknowledge and strive for your dreams. So courage is pursuing your dreams despite your fear. So let's just look at the definition, the meaning of courage. Which one is the correct one? Fearlessness? Doing things despite the fear, bragging about being fearless, daring others to take big steps, attempting things on a dare. Now, you should know by now, of course, that it's doing things despite the fear. You know, just kind of hold yourself by the hand. Remember, you're a good mother. Just give yourself that little push. You can do it. So pursuing your dreams happens one step at a time. So let's make each step, not so big. It's one little step. A journey of 1,000 miles. You've heard that one before. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. Anyway, it takes a lot of days to get to your goal. And then I invite you to look at your goals for right now and how far away are they? Are there little goals in between? What is getting in the way today? What got in the way yesterday? How did you manage it? Did you stay on track? If not, how are you going to get back? So again, all the coaching you need, to just kind of look at it. And even if you don't write it, it's in your mind. You've seen it, you're thinking about it. And again, to consider, are there people getting in the way of your goals? Who are they? How do you confront them? How do you challenge them or get around them? Will you remember to put yourself first? Nobody else can do this dream for you. So this is still encouragement. And then finally, remember, you're not alone. What help do you need today? How will you get it? Where will you get it? How will you make sure that it's accurate and that it's correct? How will you check on it? How will you evaluate the help you get? All these are very, very important questions. And again, your dream, let's I outlined this. So, maybe important. Don't let anyone, not even yourself, talk you out of your dream. Remember, it's your dream and only you can make it happen. It's your responsibility. Remind yourself, how are you managing so far? Are you satisfied? Do you need to change something? get better at something. Remember, it's never too late. Look, I started this 5, 6 years ago, and you can tell I'm very far from young. I'm actually past retirement. I've retired as a psychologist. I'm only doing the writing now, and that's tiring enough. But, it's never too late. These are things I wanted to share. And, the only thing is don't wait until it's too late because we only have, this life to live right now, as far as we know, or who knows what comes afterwards. So even if you lose your path, you can always get back on it. Don't forget saying that where there is a will, there is a way. That's what it's about. Do not give up on your dream, which means do not give up on yourself. And then it asks you some more questions and invites you to leave room or to enter journaling. Journaling means, and it's a blank page with lines, to write your own process. How are you reacting to these things? What are you struggling with? And you may journal about your dream, or you may journal, which I advise, about whatever is on your mind. When I was teaching writing quite a few years back, people would say, well, I just can't get it together and do it. I say, well, forget about the topic, forget about the assignment, just write what's on your mind right now. What is this? What is it that's getting in the way? And that usually works for all of us to get started. So there's only one last chapter, chapter 11. I'm going to give you a sneak preview. It's called Coping with Problems in Your Life, Your Family, Your Community, because I'm well aware that for many, teens and young adults, life is very difficult. It's not a easy sail through all these months and years. It is very, very challenging. And even when it's not about family issues and difficulties, which it often is, but it's just, like I said, I wouldn't be doing this work if it was easy and everybody could just sail right through it. I wouldn't be needed. And I certainly didn't sail right through my adolescence and young adulthood. As I shared in the book, there were a lot of challenges and even many that I didn't share. So this is it for chapter 10, and I will see you again very soon, this afternoon actually, when I take chapter 11, which will be our last one. So thank you for listening to me, and I will see you again shortly.